friends, this is part 2 in our fun tag ideas. I just wanted to show you, I did my second collage tag. I did one in the last video, but I didn't show you how to do the lines at the back. And there's different ways to do lines at the back. There's stencils that you can use, there's stamps that you can use, but a way that anybody can really do it is I just take a pen and some kind of straight edge. It can be a ruler, or I just use this little card usually. And I try to make the lines imperfect. So as you can see, I have it kind of slanted down. If you try to make them perfect and they're not completely perfect, then it looks odd. But if you kind of make them wonky to begin with, then they look perfect. Like they're meant to be that way, I guess. So I often do this on the back of my tags. You can do them however you want, spaced wise. Sometimes I put little, little hearts at the end of some of the lines, or, whatever, little doodle sort of thing, and it just adds a little extra touch. So just something like that, and then your tag is done. So that's last week's. And then this week's, our next 5 ideas, I'm going to do a mini tag. And this is, I'm going to do another tag, freebie printable for you. So this is a printable. It will be available as a printable until November 29th. And after that, I will bundle it in with the Grace Notes kit. So this one has 3 little mini tags and a larger tag that we're going to make into a tag booklet. So that's the first 2 ideas. This is number 1, this is number 2. And that's available in my coffee shop, which I'll link below. And the third one is the paint strip tag. So these paint strips come in all shapes and sizes, and I backed 2 compatible colors to my journal together and sewed around the edges. And I think I'm going to do something else. I'm not sure what yet, but when we get to that point, I'll come up with something. So paint strip tag, a tag with a pocket, and a swing tag. Just a little tag that I'm going to have a swinging mechanism on it. This was a freebie on the embellishment, with the embellishments. It was at the bottom of the embellishments, so if you have that one, you can use that. I backed these with the lined paper that I had. I don't think I actually put that as a freebie for the kit yet, but I will. So that, yeah, I backed it with that and sewed around the edges, so I'll show you how to make a swing tag with those. So I'll just get these cut out and I'll be right back. So for the first set of tags, I'm just going to glue these onto some lined paper and cut them out, ink around the edges, and probably sew them. So super, super simple. So I'm just going to turn this over. I'm going to put a bit of glue stick. If you're going to sew it, you don't need it too precise. If you're not going to sew, then you want probably a little bit of wet glue on the edges, and especially the corners, so that it doesn't come apart. But I think I'm just going to sew these ones. It's just as easy, and it looks kind of cool. Just put a bit of a space there. I did some special scriptures on these ones that I really like, so I really love these little tiny tags, and I think they'll be really cute in the journal anywhere. So that's why I made these guys. So just gonna cut them out like that, cut out the edges, and it's got the lines on the back. So I'm just going to ink around the edges and sew around the edges, and then I'll be right back. So here are my 3 little tags, all backed with my paper, stitched around, inked around, I thought they turned out really cute, and I'll put a tab on these. Probably I'll do another video making some toppers. And then I took this part of the printable, and I cut out this whole rectangle. I'm going to leave these corners on until I get it folded and stuff, and then I can cut them out together. It'll match easier that way. And I backed it just on some scrap paper that I had. So I'm going to ink around these edges, and I'm going to sew some pages in. This was just some copy dyed paper that I cut to size. So this happens to be 6.5 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. So I just cut, it was actually just 2 pieces of coffee dyed paper cut in half and then cut down to size. So I'm just going to, I was going to staple them in, but my stapler's not quite long enough, so I'm going to just do a little quick zip sewing there and sew around the edges, and I'll show you what that looks like. Actually, first, before I start sewing, I'm going to trim these corners off, so I'll just show you how I'm going to do that. So fold it first and then just cut, and if you flip it over and you need a little bit more, then you could do it on the other side as well, but that one was good and that one looks good too. So then all our corners are nicely matched up. So I'll be right back and show you what it looks like sewn. Okay, I finished the little tag book. This is, I just put one of the labels from the kit on there, Grace. I sewed around the edges, inked around the edges. I decided to put a little pocket in the front and the back. I'm not sure for what yet, but just one little caution here, because this was almost the same height as the book after I did my corners there. It was hard to, I had to kind of flip the pages back and forth to get through here. So if you want to do it this way and your book is the same size, maybe do the sewing around the edges first and then bind the book in afterwards. I did it in the opposite order, but I thought that turned out really cute. So there's our second one. Here's my paint strip tag. I have a really long paint strip here. It's actually going to poke out of the journal quite a bit. So I thought I'm going to use that maybe like a bookmark. So what I decided to do is to glue one of these circles on either side at the top, and then it'll just be kind of a decorative thing poking out of the journal. So I'm going to put this one on this side right up to the top. Since it's kind of rounded at the top, I think that works really nicely. And then on the other side, I'm going to put this green one at the top. And I'll just match the edges as I put them on, like that. And I may have to just clamp that a little bit until it dries, because there's a bit of bulk there with the paper clips. Paper clips. With the staples, sorry. There, I'll just clip that on there like that. And I think that'll look really cool. It'll kind of poke out of the journal like that, minus the paper clip, the binder clip. Okay. So here's my next pocket idea, tag idea with a pocket. So I cut the shape of a tag just out of a scrap of cardstock that I had. Here's a piece of that lined paper that is going to be in the kit as well. And I'm just going to wrap that around these sides. So I already just bent that one around. You could score this if you want to, but I didn't measure it exactly when I did it, so I'm just going to do it that way. Scoring tool here, or my bone folder rather. And then on the bottom I want to bring it up as well. So I just want to see where I want that, and I'll fold the bottom up as well, like that. Then I'm going to just take off those corners like that, just to cut down on the bulk. And just try that and make sure that works, and that works perfectly. And then I'm going to just put a notch at the top of this pocket, like that. And I'll ink the top, like that. I might as well ink all of the edges while I'm doing this. Okay, and then I'm going to just wrap this around the tag at the bottom. Just a bit of glue on all the sides and wrap it around just like that. And there we have our pocket. So that looks cute, and you could just stop there if you wanted to. I'm going to add another step. So I'm going to put a backing on here, but before I put the backing on, I'm going to put a paper clip. So I'm just going to put a little bit of ink on this side where the paper clip will be. And then I'll put the paper clip on where I think I want it. And just like that is probably good. And you could sew around this. I think that I'm just going to glue this one. So I'm going to glue my edges here, the tacky glue. And just a little bit inside as well. And then where my paper clip is, I want to just really glue around that area so the paper clip doesn't come out. Just give that a bit of heavy glue right there. And then this can probably want it that way. So I'll just line up those edges and glue that on. I think I didn't get that quite centered that way, but that's okay. I'll just trim off a little bit. So just get that nice and pressed down. Just press in that in the center of that paper clip just a little bit. And then I'm just going to trim this little bit off. There's a little bit on this side just to trim off. Like that. And I've got my corners to trim. And I'll just ink around the rest of those edges. On the front and the back as well. You could even put lines on here if you want. You could write around the paper clip. That would work. And then for this, when you're putting it in your journal, you can just clip it onto your page like that. And then you can also put another tag in the inside of there. Where's my little tags here? These ones would maybe a little bit small, but if you put a couple in there, that would look kind of cute. Just like that. And I've got one more tag to show you, so I'll be right back with that. So here's my last tag idea. I'm going to make a little swing tag. So I punched out just from a scrap of the backing paper with my whale tail punch and folded it and inked the edges. And I'm just going to take the top tag and glue the tab on there. So I'm just going to put a bit of tacky glue all over that. And I'm just going to line it up so that it's sticking up quite a bit, like that. Then I'm going to line up both tags together, and I'm going to use my crocodile to punch a hole in the middle of, it's going to go through both tags in the middle of the tab there. So like right there. So it went through the bottom tag as well. And then I'm just going to take a brad and feed that through both of the tags. And then I have a swing tag. So I can look at the tag there, I can decorate this one a little bit, and I can access the journaling on both of those tags like that. So that's my last idea. So I'll be back in a few days to show you, probably going to do tag toppers next time. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, friends.